Hey guys, what's up? My name is Eric and I'm the Techy Agent, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from my subscribers and viewers, people asking which one should I get? Should I get the new Casio ProTech smartwatch or should I get the new Garmin Fenix 5X? Which one is going to have better mapping capabilities? Which one is going to be, better for me in the long run? And so there's a lot of variables in both of these watches. So I kind of wanted to break down both of these watches into their many categories, kind of give you ranking and comparison and contrast as far as features are concerned, because there's a lot of differences in both of these devices. And then maybe this video will help you guys decide which one is right for you. Let's get 2 points of reference out of the way first. This comparison is going to be between the Casio and the Fenix 5X version of the Fenix 5. Not the Fenix 5 or the Fenix 5S, but the Fenix 5X, which is the fully featured and largest version of the new Fenix 5. The reason for that distinction is because the 5X comes with additional mapping capabilities that the other two versions of the Fenix 5 don't have. The other consideration is that the Casio is an Android Wear-powered device, and Casio has publicly already stated at their exhibit that the Casio ProTech will not have full functionality on the iPhone or an iOS device, so this is going to be an Android Wear and Android device only. Now, Casio has not elaborated on what that limited functionality is going to look like, so as far as, if you're going to wait or give value to compatibility, clearly the Garmin is going to be a better device as far as compatibility. The Casio is going to be limited in its compatibility with an iOS device, and so if you have an iOS device, I recommend the Garmin by default. With those two things dealt with, now let's deal with the actual comparison. Let's talk about screen and display. So the screen and display of the Casio, in my opinion, is going to be much, much better than that of the Garmin. It is what they're calling a dual layer LCD. So what they've done is they've created two layers of a screen. There's a monochrome screen that's kind of a low power, low energy, low resource screen that's used for always on things, time, date, that kind of stuff. And then there's a color screen that's obviously going to consume more resources, more battery, but it's going to be used only in limited times when you're using an app or you're using topographical maps to navigate. And so with that dual layer technology, that's the idea behind that, is to save battery life. Casio isn't being specific on the pixel density of the monochrome screen, but on the color screen, it's 320 by 300 pixels, and that's in 1.32 inches. And so it's going to be a beautiful screen. It's going to be very bright. It's going to be color saturated, and you're not going to have a pixelated appearance. And then obviously this is a full Android Wear experience, so this is going to have a touch screen, and Casio is going to put that to use on their user interface as well. So you're going to get a touch screen experience in addition to analog buttons on the side. So in terms of the screen or display, Casio wins because Garmin just isn't quite as robust. The Fenix 5X only really sees moderate improvements over the previous generation Fenix 3, so we're having the same idea, the same chroma display, which is kind of a low energy color display. It's 1.2 inches, so it's a little bit smaller than the Casio, only limited to 64 colors, which actually is an improvement over the previous gen, which I think was only 16 colors. We are getting a higher pixel density this time, 240 by 240, so you're going to see less pixelation on the screen. It is backlit for night situations, and it does not have a touch screen. So overall, it is a decent improvement on the screen from the Fenix 3, but it just doesn't compete with the Casio. So let's talk about battery life. Well, on this one, the Garmin is probably going to win because let's take a look at the Casio. The Casio just isn't going to be optimized for battery life quite like the Garmin, in part because it is running Android Wear and because of the screen. Now, it has a lithium-ion battery, which they promise will give you up to 24 hours of continuous GPS use. You'll have 24 hours plus using Android Wear, so again, you're probably looking at the typical smartwatch battery life, which is about 2 days, and then you can turn off all of the sensors and all of the tracking and GPS and use just the monochrome display and get 30 days with timekeeping mode, but at that point it's essentially just a regular old analog style watch where it does nothing but tell the time and just uses kind of a monochrome LCD to relay that information. And in that 30-day mode, you don't really get any other benefits of the watch. So once you actually use this watch as it's intended to be used with GPS and Android Wear running, you're going to get at most 2 days worth of battery life, even less if you're using GPS. So that means if you go on a hiking trip, a hunting trip, a camping trip, any sort of trip at all that's going to be longer than a day, you will need to bring your charger with you and plan on charging this device multiple times. The battery life of the Garmin Fenix 5X is going to be infinitely better than the Casio. And again, that's in part to its operating system and its user interface and screen just being much lower energy than the Casio. So you're going to get 24 hours with GPS turned on. Now that's similar to the Casio. Both of these devices with constant GPS turned on are only going to last about 24 hours. Now, Garmin does have what they're calling their Ultra Track feature, which extends GPS battery life to 75 to 100 hours with GPS turned on, and then the refresh rate of that GPS, instead of being about once every second, it's going to be spread out a little bit further. So the refresh is only going to be every 5 to maybe 10 seconds. Additionally, with the Garmin, you're going to get 2 weeks plus, at least 2 weeks, maybe more, without using the GPS feature. Now, keep in mind, this is with an optical heart rate sensor running in the background. The Casio doesn't have that, so you're still going to get much better battery life with the Garmin over the Casio. Now, both of these provide extensive profiles for and features for hiking, hunting, fishing, exploring, outdoor stuff, as well as they both provide extensive mapping capabilities. Both of them have built-in maps that you can use without any sort of connectivity. So both of these devices are going to be great when it comes to mapping and GPS features. And so, again, which one is better? That's going to be a toss-up since neither one of these devices are out yet, and to a large extent that may depend on the person using it. So I just want to talk about objectively the things that are better or worse about each device, since at this point both of them have great mapping and great outdoor profiles built in to the devices themselves. So another comparison is water resistance or waterproofness. The Garmin is rated to 100 meters of water resistance. The Casio is rated to 50 meters. Now that's not going to be a big distinction for most people. 50 meters, 100 meters doesn't really make a difference. Now, if you're planning on using the watch for diving, then yeah, the difference between 50 meters and 100 meters might be significant to you, but for everyone else, it's going to be a non-issue. They're both waterproof for all intents and purposes. Now, let's talk about smart features. Which of these has the better smart features? Well, clearly, the Casio is going to be a better smartwatch overall. It's fully functional Android Wear, and so you're going to have thousands and thousands of third-party developers and apps jumping on board, and so you're going to have compatibility. You're going to easily get call, text notifications, email notifications, along with notifications for all of the apps that are running on your phone, as well as apps that will actually run on the device itself. And so it's kind of no contest. This is Android Wear, and it's fully functional Android Wear, so it's going to blow away the Garmin in terms of smart features. Now, the Garmin does have smart features, not as fully functional as the Android Wear experience you're going to get with Casio, but it does have some. So let's talk about them. You will get call and text notifications on the screen, as well as app notifications for email, social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. So in terms of notifications, if that's all you really need, this does have a full capability of all kinds of notifications, no matter what app you're using, and so that's a great feature. Now, when it comes to actual developers for apps, Connect IQ is still really limited, and Garmin is trying to get developers on board. One of their most recent ones was Uber, but in terms of actual developers and apps being developed for Connect IQ, it's extremely limited and really not worth mentioning. So if you need a fully featured smartwatch, then you definitely need to go with the Casio over the Garmin. Now, when it comes to tracking exercise and fitness and overall health metrics, which one of these is better? Well, let's take a look at the Casio first. As far as exercise and fitness goes, you'll have to rely on third-party applications. This does not have built-in native applications designed to track health or fitness. Now, as far as Bluetooth connectivity goes, you will be able to use, again, those third-party applications to connect with Bluetooth peripherals like a chest strap or even a cadence sensor on your bike or something like that. Now, this does not have a built-in heart rate sensor, so not even for exercise, not for all-day tracking. So again, this has has no native health tracking. You'll have to rely on third-party apps and connectivity in order to track health. Now, when it comes to the Garmin, on the other hand, we have a much more robust exercise, fitness, and health tracking. So this will have all kinds of baked-in native sports profiles. So, whatever kind of sport you're into, this will likely have the ability to track that. This will also have a built-in heart rate sensor for tracking not just your active heart rate during exercise, but also your resting heart rate and when you're asleep. This will also have ANT Plus and Bluetooth connectivity for all kinds of peripherals, whether it be cameras, chest straps, cadence sensors, you name it. And then this obviously does have then built-in native 24/7 health tracking for tracking calories and your sleep and steps and mileage and everything else that Garmin tracks. Okay, this isn't meant to be a comprehensive comparison, so let's go ahead and just jump right now to the pricing. The Fenix 5X comes in at a whopping $699 plus, so $699 and more if you decide you want to go with a leather strap or more of a luxury strap instead of the silicone band that it comes with. So that's going to likely price out a lot of people just by the default of it being almost $700, well, $700 and change if you include tax. And then when it comes to the Casio, you're looking at a $500 price point, which still is a significant amount of money. So as far as comparisons are concerned, I'll leave it up to you to decide which one you prefer and like better, and I'll make sure that I include purchase links in the description below in case you want to pick these up at the best pricing possible. So I hope you enjoyed the review and found it helpful, and I tried to be as unbiased as possible. Thanks for watching. My name is Eric, and I'm the Techy Agent. We'll catch you next time.